I'm Alma LB Constable, and I'm CEO of Solar. And what we do is we take parts and teach kids how to create their own solar solutions. So right here we have the parts for our Solar lantern kit. And it's very simple to put it together. We teach the kids everything that's on the circuit board. We teach them how you collect the power and how you store it. And it's really simple.
So what kids are you teaching?
We're starting in Kenya, and we're teaching kids in rural villages in Kenya. Nyanza province is where we're starting.
How did you get to Kenya?
I've been working in Kenya for 10 years with Cultural Reconnections. And what Cultural Reconnections does is we take African American women and we partner with them with their counterparts in Kenya for joint sustainable ventures. So we've done everything from water to solar, and this came out of a result of a lot of conversations with women on what they needed in their communities for their kids to get ahead and to have more time to study. What is used now is kerosene generators, kerosene lanterns, and of course that's dangerous.
So you're talking about the light. They need light so they can study at night.
They need light, yes. Yeah. And so what they're using now are kerosene lanterns, and that it's bad for your lungs, it's bad for the air, and it causes fire.
And it's expensive.
And it's expensive. It's about $2.50 a week, $2.50 per week.
They learn how to make the lights, and that's pretty. I mean, even I learned how to do that.
They're learning the construction, as you saw, is not that difficult. What they're learning is what the function is of each individual component. So how do you collect sun energy? How do you store it? How do you get it to go safely through a circuit so that you don't get spikes and all that kind of good stuff, right? And then as they learn that, then you go bigger into like how it's made, so that you can figure out what indigenous materials can be used to make a solar panel. And you can do it with glass and vegetable dye. But you want first to understand the process of what it's for, and then you can figure out how do I replicate that process.
And how are the science teachers responding to you?
Well, it's an interesting question. So in the regions that we go into, very few women do science. And so when I go personally, the first thing that is like, yeah, I can actually teach people. And then I always insist that they're girls in my class. And that's really difficult because often the girls don't have the background to be in my class. And so one of the times when I went out, and again we asked one of the students what they always have to report back, what have they learned, what are they taking away, so we can gauge what's going on. And he says, I learned that women could be engineers. And I was like, I'm good for the day. That's, it's just, you meet people where they are and you take what you can get. But it did, it changes his attitude towards how he can get information, who you can get information from, and even the collaborative process. Like, okay, we all sat there and worked on it together. So it's not about one-way communication.
So what is your educational background?
I'm a little bit of everything. I'm a mutt. I went to University of Pennsylvania to start, and I studied artificial intelligence as an individualized major. And then I tinkered in robotics for a while. I started my first company when I was about 9 or 10. And in school, I ran a desktop.
Was that before or after you were studying at college?
Yeah, I didn't manage to get off to college till 17. So, yeah, it was before then. And then I came out here to work at Microsoft, and I was there for several years as a test engineer and a test lead on Word and other such lovely products. And I love Word. Don't do the Microsoft fashion. I love Word. And then I was running First Friday of Seattle for a while, which is a networking organization for African American businesses and professionals. And then I had these lovely children. And so I've got a daughter that's 16 and a boy that's 10. And then, I've got to keep the husband too. So.